Hello Sky News Facebook audience. You're joining us in a clinic in Chelsea, and this is a hyperbaric oxygen chamber. And to explain what that is, I'm going to invite Tim in. Come on in, Tim. I want you to explain to our audience what we've got going on here, because it looks a bit space age, doesn't it?
It does a bit, yeah. It's essentially administering oxygen under pressure. So what it does is it means that your body absorbs more oxygen than it usually would, up to 15 times more than at normal atmospheric pressure. So what we do is we administer oxygen via a mask, generally for about an hour.
Okay. And at the moment we've got young Jake in there, 13-year-old Jake, and I should say that hyperbaric oxygen has been rumoured to be a good treatment or therapy for celebrities, sports stars, biohackers, but tell us why Jake is in the tank today.
And so it's a great alternative therapy to complement other things as well. Dr. Pender's probably better to go into more detail of why Jake is in today, but it's a very good alternative therapy that assists other things.
Okay, just before we move over to speak to Dr. Pender, just give us an overview of the claimed health benefits of hyperbaric oxygen therapy.
So, yeah, administering more oxygen via hyperbaric medicine essentially helps the immune system work as it should. It makes the body work as it should, essentially. It works with the red blood cells and your white blood cells as well. And it gives mental clarity. You find that your brain is a bit sharper, and also helps with your energy. It really is a very good complementary therapy.
And of course I should point out that you own the business and you own the tank.
Yeah.
So you would say that, wouldn't you? But let's have a chat with Dr. Pender. Can we come over to you right over there? Come and have a chat with you, Robert. Just leaning over Jake here. Now you're keeping an eye on what's going on, because
Exactly, yes.
this young man's having a very special kind of treatment, isn't he?
That's right, Jake. Unfortunately for this young lad, he's got a brain tumour and a spinal tumour. And what we're doing is giving him this extra oxygen to build up his immune system, help him to fight the cancer. Cancer tumours actually thrive in a low oxygen environment, but when you go into an oxygen chamber, then there's more oxygen dissolved into the blood, into the hemoglobin, and into the blood plasma, also into your lymph fluids. So the area that has been starved of oxygen suddenly get an increase in oxygen, and cancer tumours don't like this. They actually grow and spread in a low oxygen environment. So by giving the hyperbaric oxygen treatment, we find this very useful as part of the treatment. Like there's chemotherapy, radiotherapy, it actually works alongside these other therapies.
And has that been proven?
There is quite a lot of clinical trials on the go just now, and very well documented that this works. I think Dr. Robinson recently from King's proved that this, he's a radiologist and had done MRI scans of tracing tumours in a low oxygen and watching them spread, and then he did another trial with more oxygen and seeing how the tumours did not spread.
Okay, thank you. I'm just going to remind our audience where we are. We're at a clinic in London. This is a hyperbaric oxygen tank. It's being used for various health benefits. But right now, young Jake is in there. He's got a brain tumour. And I'm just going to say hello to his dad over here, Adrian, because I'm just really curious to know what made you opt for hyperbaric oxygen therapy for your son?
Well, Jake went through the traditional National Health Service treatment for his tumour. It's been with him for a long time, since 2012. The result of Jake's surgery when he first had a tumour in his spinal cord left him in a wheelchair. Over the years, his condition worsened, and Jake, as it stands at the moment, is quadriplegic because the tumour spread up to the brain. Jake received last year radiotherapy treatment at the Royal Marsden Hospital, and post that treatment, the tumour has continued to grow into the brain stem, spread across the brain, and in fact Jacob is now at home because he can have no more treatment. The hospital have effectively just said Jake will die, and he is now under palliative care.
You've obviously got a lot of faith in this treatment.
Oh gosh, yes. Because the treatment from that was available to us from the hospital is so limited, it's either surgery, radiotherapy or chemotherapy. My wife first started exploring alternatives and complementary.
Say hello to the wife. Hello. Wave hello. Hello. Yeah.
And as a result of that, one of the treatments that we came across was the hyperbaric. And we spoke with Dr. Pender. We met with him last year, and Jake's commenced treatment in the summer of last year, and the difference has been fantastic. Jake's been taking off a lot of the drugs that are on, which we believe were causing him other problems, and we're back here again now, and we're ready and Jake's ready to battle on, and we're getting improvements, constantly. So.
Thank you for telling us that. And we should also point out that you're getting these sessions for free. Is that right?
Well, like I say, there are some very, very generous people out there who we know a lot that we don't know, and it's from the support of these people that have enabled Jake to give him a much better chance in life, and to do what a normal 13-year-old should do. Not that, he should be out there. So.
Well, thank you, Adrian. We're probably going to come back to you in a moment. Facebook audience, if you've got any questions for the doctor, for Tim, for Jake's dad, Adrian, just pop your questions in the comment section below. We're getting quite a few in here. Can I come to you, Dr. Rob, with some questions? We're getting asking one here. As an MS sufferer, I've used this. It's amazing, especially for energy. That's a good compliment there. Joey Bird asks about the benefits for survivors of tonsil cancer. So is it beneficial for survivors of cancer?
Yes, it is. Obviously a great advantage for survivors of tonsil cancer, mainly because you're building up your immune system, you're building up your whole energy, and it keeps you in peak condition. For MS, it's well documented the benefits for MS patients.
Anita Fulton says, how widespread is this treatment? How easily available is it?
There are 2 NHS facilities in London, but they really only deal with the bends for divers.
What is that? Is that where this originated, this kind of treatment, the bends?
Yes, it's probably developed from there, but it goes back to the 1800s was the first chamber was built, and it's really started probably in the late 1960s, that outside the diving world, other treatment areas have developed and been researched.
I've got another question here from Narinda. Is it good for diabetes?
Yes, there is some good evidence and clinical trials on treating diabetes. If you go on and Google on the web, hyperbaric medicine and diabetes, there's quite a lot of papers there backing this up.
Okay. Would this help brittle asthma sufferers, says Joanne Bennett?
Oh, good. This is a very interesting one. You see, what happens when you've got arthritis, you've got a lot of edema or swelling around the joints. When you've got swelling around the joints, that restricts the circulation getting to those joints. And so, again, you've come to a low oxygen environment. So when you go into the oxygen chamber, virtually under pressure, that edema, that swelling is removed from the joint, and you get a greater circulation to the joint, hence relieving the pain and the discomfort.
Wonderful. We're going to come back to you in a second. I just want to go and speak to Tim. We've got some more questions from viewers. How much does it cost for a course?
So the course depends on your condition. The single treatment is £160 for an hour. With an initial consult is £199 for the initial appointment and the session with Dr. Pender.
And are you seeing a lot of healthy, well people coming for this, just to what, rejuvenate, recharge?
Yeah. I mean, myself, I found out about hyperbaric to help with my performance, to have a clearer mind and more energy, which is why I opened the clinic in London, because there was nothing else like it. And we find a lot of performance athletes, Ironmen as well, as well as city traders, city boys and things needing more energy, sharper mind, and generally just optimal health. So there's a real range of people with health conditions and wanting to be optimal.
Okay, Adrian, you should know, and Emma, we're getting some wonderful messages to Jake on the Facebook comments here. Keep those messages coming in, guys. It's really good to see them, and you can watch the video back later on the Sky News Facebook page and see them. But Dr. Pendon, let me come back to you because we're getting more medical questions here. Is it any good for MS sufferers? From Anthony Rothwell.
Yes, it's well documented. MS. Professor Philip James is one of the leading researchers in treating MS, and then Dr. Paul Harsh from the USA, and then the late Richard Newbar, who was a neurologist. It's well documented that hyperbaric oxygen has very positive effects for MS patients.
Now, how long will Jake be in the tube for?
Jake is in today for 1 hour, but we can treat him for a longer period, up to 2 hours. But at the beginning, with this new chamber, it's the first time in this new chamber, then 1 hour, we're just monitoring how he's getting on. He's very relaxed and it's looking very good.
Yeah. And how often will he have to come for these?
We would like to do up to 3 times per week. With the seriousness of his illness, we want to give him maximum benefit. It's quite a sacrifice on the parents coming, and I've got to hold my hands up to parents who have children so sick. These are the unsung heroes, not ours. They are the unsung heroes.
And for the other doctors who claim that there aren't enough studies or broad-scale studies to support these theories, I mean, what do you say to those?
Where do you start? If you look at any medicine, any drugs, there's got to be a start somewhere. If penicillin wasn't started somewhere, then what would happen with infection? There is a lot of studies now, and sometimes in the medical field we can be closed books. We are stuck to tradition, but there is enough evidence now out and about to take up and take notice. We have referrals from consultants, we have referrals from GPs, so they're beginning now to open up and see that it works.
So is it beginning to be available on the NHS?
There are some treatments in the NHS, like problem wounds, like for the diabetic leg ulcer, that can be covered under NHS.
Wonderful, thank you. And just finally, Adrian's actually talking to Jake via the intercom system there. If you can see what he's doing. Yeah, that's how he talks to Jake. I know because I had a go on this tank earlier and I was very confused when I couldn't hear anybody, so it's quite comforting to have the intercom. Adrian, did you have a go in the tank before Jake had a go?
Not in this tank, but I have been in a tank with Jacob before. Before Jacob deteriorated into the quadriplegia, we first started working with Dr. Rob. We had a chamber that he could sit in, and I would go and sit in with him as well. So we would both be sat there with our masks on and feeling the benefits from it.
Did he find it a bit scary initially?
I think we both did at first. You know, the ears popping. It's a bit like going up in an airplane, I suppose, is the best way to discuss it. But once you're in there, there was no other feeling. You just sat there with the mask on, and but obviously Jake was getting the benefits out of it.
And he gets to play his computer games while he's in there.
Yes, that's one of the things he enjoys. So we're just trying to give eye signals to Mum to play the games. And
how long's he got left in this session now?
About half an hour or so, is it? 20 minutes, yeah.
I just want to say thank you for letting us in to see this session. It's a very personal situation, and you let us in, and not only us, but all the Facebook audience for Sky News as well. And thanks, Facebook audience, for all your questions. We're going to say bye-bye now. Join us again next time. Bye-bye.